Hola, Geek fans! It's time again for Jacob Watches. And what did I force the Jacob to watch this week? I forced them to watch The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke. This is about a once famous wrestler. He was well known. He was like the Hulk Hogan of the professional wrestling world. But now it's many years later. He's old. He's broken down. He's on the indie circuit. He's doing these, hardcore matches. He's doing whatever he can to get by. He's got alcoholic. He wants to achieve that fame he once had. This also stars Melissa Tomei, a stripper that he becomes his love interest. This movie, though, really is all centered about Mickey Rourke and his performance as a broken down person, a person past his prime, who really doesn't really know what to do with his life. Jacob, what did you think of this movie?
I actually really like this movie. It's one of the few Darren Aronofsky films that I haven't seen.
Darren Aronofsky as the director?
Yeah, I saw Black Swan and Noah by him, which I both really like those movies. But then going into this one, I was expecting it to be a very different film than because of the other films by him that I've seen. Those films, he likes to do a lot of like psychological, like mind-bending, weird stuff in his films. This film, it was real.
Right.
It was very realistic. Like,
astonishingly realistic.
It had like actual dialogue, like what we'd expect to see in real life, and he kind of also enhanced on that effect by like making it. It was filmed kind of like it was a documentary.
Yes.
Like
I felt like it was. I was watching a documentary. The natural. This has I talked about this in the dialogue. This has some of the most naturalistic dialogue I've heard in a while. Yeah. Like wow. Like when they're at the very beginning, they're in that scene where they're in the locker room. I'm like whoa, this is like wrestlers in the locker room, right? Professional wrestlers. They're talking about their moves, what they're gonna do. Yeah. It's. I was like, whoa, this is real. Yeah. Is this a documentary?
Yeah, I was expecting this to be like kind of like a weird artsy film, but and it kind of was in a sense, but it wasn't what I expected. It was like just a guy like you were looking into like the life of a normal guy.
Right.
He happens to be a professional wrestler, and it was a really good film though. I really liked it. Mickey Rourke's performance in it was just astonishing.
Astonishing. Like, that's the word to use.
Yeah, and then I really liked Melissa Tomei's performance too. All the actors in this movie.
They all did great.
They all had really great performances, and the film as a whole, I really liked that too. I thought it kind of actually liked the film as a whole more than the performances. Because there's that one scene where he's trying to get back together with his daughter. Because they've been estranged for years now.
Because he was a professional wrestler on the road and he wasn't around in her life.
Yeah, and they have that really great scene where he's on the boardwalk with her, and I just really liked that. It was so beautiful. And then of course the shit hits the fan again, and then
he fucks up again. He's a messed up guy. He's supposed to meet her. He does a night of drugs and he just forgets.
And then by the end of this movie, I was kind of messed up. I was like, damn, life sucks.
Yeah.
but it was a really good film. I'm really glad that you recommended this to me because I've been meaning to watch it for a while. I just kept putting it off. It wasn't on like top 10 of the movies that I need to see, but I'm really glad I was able to watch it.
I've known about this film for a while, and people told me it was great, but like you, I was like, yeah, it's not really. I saw like a trailer and I saw a couple of scenes. Like, yeah, it looks like he's some good acting, but it's not my thing.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't know why I watched it one day, and I was stunned. I was less amazed by the film overall as a whole. I can't remember exactly what was about it, but I felt there was something wrong with the entire narrative. I didn't like something about like I didn't think it came together as well as it could as a whole, but I didn't care about that. Like I guess I wanted it to end with a more definitive ending. But all I cared about was Mickey Rourke's performance. That's what I cared about. And then every scene he's in, I'm like, I can't stop watching this guy. I can't stop watching this guy. I can't stop watching this guy. I just couldn't stop watching him. I didn't know Mickey Rourke was that kind of actor. I never knew he was this kind of dude.
I loved his performance. I don't want to downplay it at all, but I felt like in certain parts of the film he was just being himself a little bit. Like he was just being a normal guy. But but his ability to do that throughout the film overall, and even in the more dramatic scenes, and still make it seem like realistic, that's where that stood out to me. But it didn't stand out throughout the entire film.
But I mean, that's the point, Jacob. If you have that heightened performance throughout the entire film, it actually almost loses it.
Yeah.
So there's certain scenes where he's really emoting. There's other scenes where he's just being some dude. Hey, you want some drinks? Whatever. You're right. But that you have that lull, and then you get the dramatic hit where it's like, whoa, this is. It's like real. It's like real life.
Yeah.
Real life isn't all crazy. It's not the Avengers where every scene is amazing. No, it's not like that.
Well,
right?
it was better than his performance in Iron Man 2.
The accent.
Yeah. A horrible Russian accent.
the epic Russian accent, Jacob.
But it was really good, and I definitely felt like this is Hulk Hogan, right? Like that's exactly who he was playing, pretty much.
It's kind of, but Hulk Hogan's still famous. Right. But it was more like there's this another wrestler called the Ultimate Warrior, where he was really famous, and then he kind of fell off the map. And I'm thinking that's really, because I watched wrestling when I was younger, but I don't really know too much. But then he got into a life of drugs, and he was still around, but he never came back. And then at the very end of his life, he actually kind of made a return, and then tragically, he won an award like this. He got into the WWE Hall of Fame, and a week or two later, he died of a heart attack.
Okay.
Right. So I think it's based more on this guy, because right, the Ultimate Warrior, because Hulk Hogan is still popular.
Yeah.
So he's Ultimate Warrior, who was really popular. He fought Hulk Hogan, and then he went downhill. Yeah. That's what I think is more based on.
Yeah. But like we were talking about with the dialogue, like it was really. It wasn't stylistic at all.
No, it's just like some dudes talking, and they interrupt each other, and they misspeak.
And I really liked kind of the authenticity of the professional wrestling world that they portrayed.
It was that locker room scene was like, because when I was a kid, I watched professional wrestling, and then I was a teenager, I still watched it, but I started like checking out the behind the scenes stuff like on the internet.
Yeah. And
like, this is how it is. This is how I remember them describing the locker rooms and how they go over their their major like choreographed moves, because a lot of it's improvised, but they're like, okay, we're gonna have a few big scenes, I forget what they call them. A few big spots. There you go. Yeah. Here's our spots. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and they're doing it in the locker room right in the beginning. Yeah. And it's so funny. They're having the back and forth. It's like, oh wait, you got the neck? Oh no, I'm taking the neck. Okay, right. Yeah. It's just really cool. And all the guys look like real wrestlers. I think some of them probably are wrestlers, right? They like the redneck guy with the staplers. It was great. It was really funny.
Yeah. So they were able to put in like so much dramatic tension and comedic elements because it was such real dialogue.
Yes.
So that was my favorite part of the film, besides the performance and the overall narrative, I guess. But I will say that I felt like it did kind of fall apart at the end with the narrative.
Yeah.
Just because I was getting so pissed off at the character and everything that he was doing. But
I wanted to root for him. Like, I wanted him to get with his daughter, and then we didn't. That was like heartbreaking. It's like, wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
I felt for him because it felt real.
Yeah, and I wanted to continue being friends with Melissa Tomei too. But overall, I really enjoyed this film. I would say definitely go watch it if you're a fan of Mickey Rourke or Darren Aronofsky, or if you're just a fan of good films.
I'd give it 4 stars. What do you give? 5 stars for Mickey Rourke's performance, 4 stars for the movie. What do you give it?
I give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. You like that 8 out of 10. You like that.
It's a good medium number.
It's a good medium good number?
Yeah, it's a good medium number for high-level movies.
Alright, Jacob, what are you recommending to me?
Alright, so if you watched our video, a couple videos ago of this playlist, you might saw that I recommended Shane Being John Malkovich, which was directed by Spike Jonze.
I gave it 5 stars. That was an excellent film.
Now we're going back to Spike Jonze.
Oh my.
More weirdness, more meta, crazy stuff going on. I'm recommending to you The Adaptation, starring Nicolas Cage, playing 2 roles. So that's a
wait. What's the movie called?
The Adaptation.
The Adaptation? I've never heard of it.
Yep. It's a really good film. We're going to talk about that next time, so you can stick around for that.
Alright, folks, stay tuned. I'm going to watch The Adaptation. This has been Geeks at the Movies.